Good morning, brothers and sisters. First, just to take a show of hands, who have not felt sick before? Yeah. If you have that bulletproof or that sickness proof, please share with us. None? Yeah, I think all of us here share the same experience that we have felt sick before. The only difference could be the level of seriousness, correct? Some could be mild, some could be serious. As I think, especially with the COVID, in the past 3 years, people who thought that they are very healthy, suddenly also succumb to sickness, and that make people more aware about the body condition and their health. And sometimes, our sickness came with us expecting it. How? If we keep eating a lot of char kway teow, fried food, Hokkien mee every day, then we know that our body temperature will rise, and then we expect to have fever, cough, or whatsoever. Yeah, and older people perhaps, or those who have asthma, if you eat a lot of cold food, then or eat ice cream, then you will tend to cough and have this lung infection or whatever. So sometimes it comes with expected, sometimes it came very sudden. Yeah. So this sickness came at any time without us inviting, and of course, it's very, very not welcoming, right? Who welcomes sickness on? Can you raise your hand? Last time when I worked very hard, I like to be sick. Why? I get MC, yeah, but actually it's not a very good attitude. Yeah, then we give ourselves excuse, 小病是福. Yeah, so actually it's not a very good attitude, in terms of expecting sickness. And now here, how many of us here think that sickness is actually a natural flow? Can you raise your hand? Natural? Or some don't think it's natural, yeah, especially the younger ones, I guess. It's not natural to the young ones, only natural to the older ones. Correct? Yeah, and actually sickness is rather common, especially those who work in the medical setup, or their family members who have experienced sickness. Then you know it's actually very common, and you can see that the only difference would be, the severity, the age we get it, or the kind of treatment, and also you can also see that the recovery will be different, and realizing about sickness is common, and sickness is very general, it helps us to avoid ourselves, it helps us to prevent to fall into the state of denial. Denial of what? Denial of, I'm always very healthy, I won't fall sick. Or denial about, at this condition, if I eat well, if I do everything well, I manage my health, I exercise and do a lot of things well, I will not fall sick. That is actually a state of denial. Why? Because we actually cannot control our body. When I was younger, younger means maybe like 20 years before. At the age of teenagers and youth, I was very active, play sport and all these things, and energy just came like it's an outburst flow. I just couldn't feel that it's a day that I have no energy. But then I have this very fixed mind that I should not fall sick. If I fall sick, something is wrong with me. Have you have that impression? If I fall sick, there's something wrong with me. So whenever I fall sick, I get very upset with myself, like why I get sick. So on top of the sickness, let's say I have flu or headache, I keep thinking about why I fall sick, and then more headache. And then I scold myself, why I didn't do this, so that then I fell sick. So more headache add on to it. And I thought that if I am young, I should not succumb to any kind of sickness. Yeah, without realizing that actually sickness just come to you, or you maybe are born with certain sickness. Yeah, and I had that state of mind for a very, very long time. So whenever I fall sick, I get very agitated, and then my emotion would just fluctuate, and I cannot accept it. Somehow, yeah, we attend Dharma class, we learn about all this sickness, and learn about impermanence and all sorts, but it just couldn't drill into my mind until I think one day, somehow or other, it was not in the Dharma talk. We always thought that our realization would come in Dharma talk, right? Like, well, after we listen, we're happy, then the light come out from our head. But that day, it was just a very simple walk out from Nalanda Center to a place, just nearby place. I walk and walk and walk, and suddenly I recall two friends of mine who I always thought that they are very healthy, and indeed they are. But just 1 month or few weeks before, one of them have body rashes. She's a very pretty lady, and somehow she has these body rashes that she couldn't identify why, and the doctor also couldn't identify why. And the whole head, the whole body was actually swollen. And the second friend that I thought of, that popped out into my mind, was a friend who is very cautious in her diet, who is taking care of her health quite well from my perception. Yeah. And she has this eczema. Yeah. Whenever she wash dishes, her hands will just, the skin will just peel off. And whenever she use the wrong soap, she will get itchy, whole body. They are both my peers. So I was thinking, yeah, why am I so repulsive? I can use the repulsive about my sickness when I fall sick. Well, and envy about other people's, envy about other people's good health. Well, actually, everybody will have certain kind of sickness or disease that we may not know. And it's all coming to us at different time, at different age, at different severity. So I may have my problem, my friend may have her problem and his problem. And suddenly my heart just felt like, at peace. It's like that realization that, yeah, we are all human beings, and we are all suffering in the same state of existence of this body, the suffering caused by the body, and at certain times, suffering that caused by our mind too. Yeah, that infliction that because our body is not well. So with this understanding, I thought, it helped me a little bit in settling down, yeah, and understanding of the Buddhist principles will be able to help us in settling down, in being at ease at the midst of having disease. Yeah, disease come from the word this is. Yeah, then how do we have that courage, have that wisdom to respond with this disease so that our heart turn to be at ease? And I must admit, I'm not the expert in this area. And fortunately, I'm also not like tested with very serious disease, which is good, yeah, in a way. Not at all time, yeah, we can brave through our sickness, sometimes big, sometimes small, especially those that are unexpected. And this sharing will be reflections from the Dharma teachings, from experience that I encounter, from experience that others or observations from others that I have noticed, observed, and hopefully also would like to hear from your sharings later. Yeah. As we know, of course, sharing is talking about illness here. We focus about physical illness, but as we know, the body and mind are inseparable. So when the body experiences unpleasantness or sickness or pain, then the mind will be somehow rather affected. I can't say the mind, I was the unenlightened mind. Here, yeah, I will share from the unenlightened mind perspective. Yeah, if someone who have enlightened, their mind will not be disturbed by all this physical pain, and then we will learn about how we can respond wisely and how we can sustain that energy so that our physical sickness will not affect us mentally. Yeah, I want to show you this small little cartoon. From here, what do you see? Dentist and patient and chair. And check out the tooth. Yeah. Yes. Some more. How do you feel? Uneasy? Yeah. Some more. Is there any dentist here? No dentist. Dentist will feel happy. Got dentist. Dentist will feel happy because people come for regular check out of their teeth. No. How do you feel? What do you see? And just now we talked about what do you see. How do you feel? Scared? Huh? Trusted? In what sense? Trust the dentist. Trust the dentist will not plug the wrong teeth. And then you have to plug it twice. Some more? Huh? Can I hear? Can you? Pain. Yeah. So you see, this photo generally will give us certain kind of negative experience, right? Or would lead us to think about certain experience or memory that may not be pleasant to us. Yeah, because why? Plucking your teeth is actually very painful, right? And most of the time, I look like this girl when I go to dentist. I'm just very afraid. I try to delay as much as possible if I need to go to the dentist. Same, sister. Yeah. Now, second thing, can you see very clearly? What do you see from here? Sick person? Hospital? Huh? Lying on the bed? Yeah. Some more? Very expensive. Think about medical bill, that is another headache, right? Some more? Huh? Check-in hotel. Or check-in hotel, that's positive. Yeah, some more? See these two? Doctor and nurse, yeah. You see, now, that is our common perception about seeing a hospital bed, seeing a hospital setting, or when we ourselves were in the hospital, right? Now, I believe many of us, including myself, I'm talking for myself, yeah. But if you are resonant, please share your experience, yeah. A lot of time we have this negative elusive perception about medical and healthcare, yeah, and it prevents us from seeing the reality of things. Yeah, in the past I was very afraid to go to dentist. I told you. Second thing that I'm afraid of was going to the hospital. Some people are afraid of seeing blood, right? I don't have to go to the extent of seeing blood. I'm very afraid of going to the hospital. Why? Because I think in the hospital, they are full of people who are sick, and it's like they are dying, and it's like very dark. It's a dark place. So I will avoid at all times. Even when I drive, I will just avoid driving in front of the hospital. It's not that mentality of soy, you know. Some people think that it's soy, right? Some have that belief. I don't believe as such, but I just don't like it, and I just have that sense of afraid and want to avoid it. But you know, in Malaysia, there are so many hospitals, right? If you drive along the road and you want to avoid the hospital in all your journey, then you'll be detouring here and there already. And I was like, whenever people was admitted to hospital, I was very reluctant to go for hospital visit as well. Even though I know that, you just being kind, you're just being caring, and go and visit will be good for that person. But I would just refuse to go. So unless they are my close relatives or close friends. And that perception has in a way deluded me for many years, until one day someone, a senior of us, asked us to go and do hospital chanting, go and do chanting in the hospital. Then I raised this concern. I said, actually, I don't mind to go and do chanting. Even go to the house, go to the wake, I don't mind. But I'm just scared of going to hospital. And this senior of mine was very wise, and his advice to me was that, why did you focus on the dark side of things? Why did you focus on the sickness of the patients? Well, we got to understand that, our mind have this negative biasness. We will look at the things that we want to look at, and most of the time it's tending more to negative. But look at the reality of it is that when you change your perspective, you can see recovery and hope. Yeah, you can see recovery and hope. So if you go to the dentist, you can actually see that you will be free from your toothache. Then you quickly go. Then if you go to the hospital, you will see a lot of good qualities of the doctors and nurses. Yeah. So he actually brought me and show me that how these doctors and nurses show their compassion and their care to the patients. And when we change the perspective, looking at recovery, looking at hope, and do not focus on the sickness, the darkness in the hospital or whatever that frighten us, then that courage and that compassion will arise. And that is how we could overcome our negativity biasness, or our misbelief or misconception about talking about illness, talking or discussing about illness. And one of the things that I think the teachings of the Buddha, which is very relevant to us to discover, is the change. It's a nature teaching, the characteristic of change that will help us to be able to accept and deal with our sickness or other people's sickness in a more accepting way. And we know that our body, all material things are made up of the 4 elements, which are the earth, water, fire, and air. And this, for our body, for example, the earth elements represent the structure of our body, like the bones, the frame of our body. The water are mainly the fluid inside our body. For example, our blood, our mucus and all those things. And the fire represented by the energy, yeah, the energy, the drive, the wind, and the wind, the air represented by this wind in the body. So because the body is made up of 4 elements and it experiences the nature of change, yeah, so it is subject to, spoil, it's subject to decay, it's subject to illness, it's subject to deterioration. We don't talk about our body, even a heart structure, for example, the building. After some time, you will see that it cracks, right? That is also a kind of sickness. So we call it sickness, yeah, or a conditional change that happened to the building. So what more the body, which is more fragile than the structure. Yeah. So in this case, the Buddha did say that because of these 4 elements that experience unconditional change, we experience a kind of suffering. And before we have this body, when we were being born, it was already a suffering. It was already an experience. It was already a painful experience. And when we live on our day by day, when we age, we also suffer actually. Yeah. Who feel happy when you see white hair? Actually, yeah, when we age, when not to talk about white hair, but when you see your body have function have actually slowed down, then you will know that you're actually aging. And moreover, when we fall sick, and moreover, when we are facing death. Yeah. But today we are not going to cover this. We're going to cover it in the next session about how do we respond more wisely, especially in the moments of facing death or seeing our family and friends facing death. Yeah. So the basic understanding of impermanence, yeah, not only make us understand that we are subject to suffering, but also give us hope and recovery that because of this changing nature, our sickness will also change. Yeah, one day, whatever sickness that we experience will also change, will also get improved, and there is always a hope of recovery. Yeah, even when someone faced terminal illness, my friend told me, even though when faced terminal illness, it's not every day she experienced a very down condition of her body. There are days that she's very up. The body is like no sickness like that. Then she can just do and wear about that she wants. But certain days it is really serious. So from there, she could actually understand impermanence more and see more clearly. Yeah. One of our friend here also, he was actually at quite a young age, I think 30 plus. Yeah, he was actually diagnosed with liver heartening kind of disease. Yeah, at the age of 30 plus, when you actually strive very hard, when you are at the so-called at the peak of your life, when being diagnosed, of course, emotionally get affected. Of course, it's like suddenly you have to pull your handbrake and reflect about what are the future plans that you have for you and your family. But one of the advice he got also from his senior is that, having diseases will allow us to see impermanence more clearly in our daily lives compared to those who may not experience certain critical illness. So with that, he could navigate it, I could say, very well, and he could manage his emotion, and he still could live a very so-called like normal life, that unless there are certain things that he has to be very careful about, and still work, still take care of the family, and still serve the sasana. So I think that is wonderful, seeing the different perspective and a wise reflection about impermanence. Yeah. And sometimes, the suffering that we have, especially the mental suffering that we have from arising from the illness, is because of our rejection. We don't want. First is that we want to be healthy and then we don't get it. Second is that we don't want to be sick and we get it. Third is that we may be living in the circumstances or with people that we don't like or don't want. For example, we got to be in a hospital. Not the hotel type hospital, but with very minor medical condition. Then what do you do about it? Then we will get affected. So that is also a way for us to reflect, hey, the Buddha talked about suffering, and this suffering is not only the physical, but also the mental, and can we actually not suffer with the suffering? Can we? Can we not suffer with the suffering? Ginger cannot. So when you get sick, you must go to hotel-like hospital. And you must have your mother along with you. Yeah. Can we not suffer with the suffering? Yeah. It's an option. Yeah. It's an option to all of us. Yeah. Because as we say, the body could be subject to illness. Yeah. And the Buddha also said that it's very non-natural, it's part of the life cycle as a human being, even as animal. As long as we have the body, we are subject to birth, aging, sickness, and death. And we can choose whether we want to suffer with our suffering. The point is that when the body suffers, how do we respond with our mind? Or when we see our friends or our family members, or especially our loved ones, suffer bodily, how do we respond wisely? How do we develop a wise relationship with sickness or people who have sickness? That is our choice. And a lot of Buddhist, a lot of Dhamma doctrine, or a lot of Dhamma qualities can help us to raise ourselves above it so that we will not suffer with our suffering. And some people blame that, I felt ill because it's our karma. Do you think so? Part of it. What is another part? Huh? What? Habit, the lifestyle. Yeah, correct. I think the Buddha say that, in our conditions, when we have these 4 elements, it is not, the 4 elements will go through its natural course, and this lifestyle of ours, the intake, the bioorganic, the natural law, the bioorganic law, whatever food that we intake will germinate and generate nutrient for us. Whatever nonsense or poisons that we take will also turn out to be poison to our body. So if one want to say karma in a rightful way, yes, it is our intention and our action. Our intention is that we take care of our good body, right? We take nutritious food, we take enough rest. Then the vipaka, the result is, yes, we get good body. But there are elements of when we don't have good intention, or we did not apply consciously that good intention to take care of our body, eat junk, all the chips, all the ice creams, all the whatever unnecessary for the body, then the result, the karma and the vipaka, the result will be the unhealthy body and sickness. On another aspect, when we talk about the law of karma, the mind conscious karma, it also partly form the body that we have now. For example, especially when we see there are not so many, there are certain babies or certain children that were born and get sickness at a very young age. Or there are certain people who get very chronic diseases that may not relate to their lifestyle, may not relate to whatever things that they do as far as they live their lives. Yeah, so this could be the previous karma. I've seen a boy. This is my friend's nephew, 3-year-old. Yeah, I got a call from my friend, said, Buddhini, can you do a chanting for my nephew? I asked, why? Oh, last night admitted to hospital because cannot breathe. Yeah, went and have this heart, very complex heart surgery. I was like, oh, 3-year-old. Was in ICU for about 2 weeks. I really could not imagine or could not, figure out how a 3-year-old boy could stand 2 weeks of ICU. And I remember when this boy was born, I also got the same call from my friend. She just called and said that, it's a very difficult childbirth, and he has complication in breathing as well. So came out, right, couldn't breathe properly, and then the pulse will just go up and down, and then the blood pressure also go up and down. So it was about 5 days kind of incident, and then he actually, came back, turned back to normal. So, when we saw him, he was actually a very jovial kid. He can run, despite after run, he will feel very tired or breathless, but he will still be very joyous, and it's like the Kai Xing Guo of the family, because he will be caring to the people, he will make people happy. So sometimes you really cannot judge, you cannot really comprehend, but we do know that in certain suttas, the Buddha did say that the karma that we brought from the past, if we are harmless, we practice harmlessness, we practice non-cruelty, that will lead us to having a healthier body in the next existence. So that is something that we can do now, yeah, for all of us. Just now we talk about these intentions, so we can actually in a way apply our new actions, yeah, and intention, so that our sickness are not prolonging, or there are certain sickness that could be cured. And it could also come from changing our lifestyle, changing our habits, changing our sleeping patterns, changing our rest time, have enough rest, and so on and so forth. So all this are about physical conditions that we can take our effort to manage it. Yeah. Now, when we talk about sickness, yeah, we talk about patients, right? We always name the person who's sick as a patient. Very interestingly, in the Nikayas, yeah, there are many suttas talking about sick people. And the Buddha have very, very lively conversation about sickness, and with these sick people, and the advice how to deal with sickness and how to deal with sick people. Yeah? And most of them are named Gilana Sutta. So if you search or you go and read up the sutta, you can read a lot of Gilana Sutta in different books, because these are the few situations when the Buddha addressed to different people. And one of it in the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha mentioned about sick person. There are three types. Yeah. First type is those who never recover from their sickness. Yeah, those who have perhaps terminal ill sickness, or those who have certain sickness that could not recover from once they get it until they pass on. Yeah, and regardless of what kind of medicine you take, what kind of food you take, or what kind of nursing care that you take. The second one is that the opposite. This one very strong immune system, yeah, that you get this sickness and you recover regardless of whether you get medical care or don't get medical care. Have you seen this type of sickness? You can see like my friends in US, yeah, they have a lot of homeless people, and I always wonder how would these homeless people not felt ill when they live in such a hardship condition, right? And they say that they really have a very good immune system. They could actually survive all kind of sickness, right? I mean, not a very major one, regardless of rain or shine, and they just could recover it. Yeah, perhaps some of us who have this kind of very strong immunity, yeah, really can share with us what's your secret. Anyone here have not better through COVID? Or better through COVID? No one have very, very strong immune system. Otherwise, you can share with us how. Yeah. And then the third one is that those who only will recover when they get appropriate care. Yeah. So one of the way we can reflect is that when we fall sick, yeah, certain kind of sickness, right? We can reflect, where are we? Which type of patients are we? Yeah. From understanding that, then we can accept and then we can deal with it more effectively. Now, of course, when the Buddha say this, he was actually also referring to what kind of person do we need to care? Yeah, what kind of patients do we need to care? Yeah, most of the time you will be caring to the first one, second one, or third one in our daily lives. If you meet with these three kinds of patients, one is that regardless of what kind of care, will never recover. Second is that no need to care, also can recover. Third is only when you give them proper care, then they will recover. So which type would you put your effort in? Third one, right? All three. All three, but the first one, 哎呀，没有得救了。Cannot be safe anymore. You still want to pour in your effort, you got very limited time. More important, why? Wow, but they're very wise, huh? Yeah, a lot of time we thought the third one, right? When I read the sutta, I also thought that, oh, then I must, put in more effort to care for the third one. Otherwise, they can't actually recover. Not only to other people, talking about ourselves also, yeah? So then the Buddha actually mentioned, yes, we have to take care of the third type of patient. But we cannot neglect the first and the second one. Why? Because if the first one is neglected, if they don't have a very good mind or stable and calm mind, they will get very angry because they also have sickness. They also want attention. They also want care and love. And if they don't get it, that anger may burn them down. Yeah. So then we have to reflect on us. If we have this kind of sickness, don't think that, hey, I'm going to die already, so I don't have to do anything. Or if our family members have such a in such terminal ill position, then we also need to care because of the mental health, that we want to keep them afloat on having wholesome consciousness. And because if they really die and they do not have a very wholesome mind, then they will go to the woeful state. So as a Dharma practitioner, as a good friend, we have to care for both their well-being in this life and next life. Yeah, and of course the second one as well. So when the second one, yes, they can recover in whatever circumstances, but our care will make them feel nurtured and perhaps can strengthen their faith, can strengthen their body keep their body heal faster. Yeah. So this is something, a reminder that we learn from this sutta. And we know that when we have sickness, there will be a lot of emotions, right? There'll be a lot of emotions because of the body weakness, but body weak condition. Yeah, a lot of time it would drag and affect the mind. I'm talking about a very normal circumstances, right? And how do we deal with this kind of different emotions? You know, when we are healthy, yeah, we have many emotions, and when we are healthy, we have enough energy to go and solve our emotions or sort out our emotions. But when we are weak, bodily weak, we will be lack of energy, or we will have lesser initiative, or the mind may not be very clear to go and find out how to deal with the emotions, or even to identify the emotions. That's why a lot of time you see that people who are sick, right? Sometimes they are like very different, right? They cannot think for themselves. Like simple logic also they cannot think. Have you seen that? Or are we ourselves? And then we thought that, or because we take medicine, then we cause us drowsy. That could be one of the factor, but sometimes it could also be because our mental energy is very lacking. It just came with a steep down. Then we couldn't be aware and react in clarity, or respond in clarity, not react. Yeah. So that is something that we have to acknowledge as well. Acknowledge and handle. And I think a lot of time, yeah, we could experience it after we fell sick. Do you notice? When you fell sick, you're like, oh, especially more serious illness. You can't really have that clarity, yeah, if we do not do enough homework before. Yeah. I've seen two venerables, one monk and one nun. The monk, I think most of us also know the Venerable late Kesri Dhammananda. When he was, I think about 15 years ago, he was already very sick. I can say very sick, but he still go on to live about his life, give talks everywhere, and do a lot of things. Yeah, and I knew that time. I knew that he was sick, but I didn't know how serious he was sick. You know, one day there was a dana, and I went morning dana. There were not many people. So after the morning dana, I have the opportunity to help to clean the table. And then I saw the attendant came out, and then chief said that, oh, I can eat the medicine now. So the attendant went in, came out with a bag of, not chips, a bag of medicine. Then he put the medicine on the table, lay down, and then take out one by one. And then after she took out, right, it's a yatsa. And then chief like put up the hand like that, and then she pour on the hand. Then I saw, I think about 15, 15 different colors one. And to my surprise, chief just took the water, drink the water, come inside. Like just eat sweet like that. I was like, yeah. I was shocked for a few seconds, because he had cancer as well. So there are many type of medicine that he has to eat. And then the day I went back, I was like, oh, 不可思议啊. Such a person that you see him, walking around 70 plus already, just do so much thing, travel here and there, different countries, eat so much of medicine. That is only morning, I haven't counted the noon, afternoon, and dinner time, and still behave very jovial and still energetic, not less than any one of us who are healthy. Serious, the energy. And when Chief was in the hospital during the last few weeks before he passed away, we went to visit. We see he was still having that clarity of mind, still can acknowledge. When we went, we say who we are, he still could acknowledge. And I remember some of the monks who were the attendants told us that despite his sickness so serious, right, he was still concerning about many Buddhist devotees and organization. He would say that this society to do this society, go and help them to do this, this person, this leader, go and help them or do that, do certain things for them. So it's like, wow, so inspiring, at the deathbed already, they still can work for the welfare and the benefit of other people. Another person, another nun that I encountered was also had cancer, many years of coming and then relapse, coming and relapse, and seek a lot of medical treatment. And throughout that period, right, we could really see that he was just like calm, and even on the bed, on the sick bed, right, it's like no movement. It's like no movement. Every time you go and visit her, it's the same. Yeah, pain or not painful. When we ask the doctor, when we inject or when you do chemo, right, is it painful? The doctor said that the pain is imaginable. The time I was still young, I cannot imagine how painful it was. But I see the nun is just like, just react very calmly in all the circumstances. And it was not in a good hospital. It was in a hardship condition. And that was also truly inspiring. I also want to invite one of our brother, who have dealt with sickness very bravely and courageously in managing his emotion during that time, which I think also worth our learning. I think he inspired me a lot and inspired some of our friends here, but I think worth to invite him again here to share with us so that we can draw inspiration from him. Can we invite Brother Chan Chiwo? Yeah. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Did you describe what happened to you?
Thank you. I think apart from those Narandians and those devotees come to center very often, then they know my incidents. But I think most majority of you might not know what happened to me. I think maybe you all think Sister Nadine invite a wrong person or invite me to talk about fitness and how to take care of ourselves. But actually what happened to me was actually during MCO2, out of nothing, I was working in the garden for 4 or 5 hours. It's about noon time. I suddenly feel I'm not comfortable. I just feel like I just want to vomit. I have nausea. That's it, nausea, nothing. So actually I told my wife, I think I might have food poisoning. So I end up, I say, let's go to see a clinic. Let's go to clinic to see a doctor, because I'm a person who very kiasi. Actually, a bit of thing I'm going to see doctor. I don't want to take things easy. That's me. Okay. So that's why I told my wife, I go to the clinic. You come with me. You go and pack lunch. The time was during MCO2. I remember very clearly. It was MCO2. So halfway through the journey, I start to develop cold sweat. Then my two hands was cramped, and my stomach start to cramp very badly. So I told my wife, instead of go to the clinic, I need to go to the hospital. My wife said, hey, you turn, change car. Because I was driving. I said, no, we have no time. Straight away, I pressed my accelerator, and all the way, I rushed to Sami Hospital. I parked right in front of the A&E rooms, right in front, actually. So everybody rushed to the car and go to my wife's side. My wife said, bukan, itu orang. So then they come to my side, they say, Uncle, you boleh tolong nggak? I said, I already very breathless actually that time. I was panicked. I was already panicked actually. So after that, then they rushed me to the emergency ward and do whatever thing necessary. Then the doctor come and tell me, "Uncle, you have a heart attack." The time actually after everything done, medication. So I was back to normal, but it's a bit tired. And he told me, he said, "Uncle, you have a heart attack." I answered him the way is, "No way." I said, "I'm so healthy, I wouldn't be having a heart attack." He said, "Yes, uncle, you have a heart attack." I said, "No way, I don't believe it." Then I told my wife, I said, "Hey, you call my friend who is a doctor, anesthetic in Sunway Hospital." I said, "You call this friend of mine, he will definitely come and see me." I said, "Because he's one of my very good friends." So my wife called this doctor, Dr. Wong. He rushed down because he was doing the surgery or operation at the time. He rushed down with the full PPE and he checked my record and he told me, "Hey, Chiwo, you will really have a heart attack. Do whatever thing necessary. Don't argue." I said, "Okay, I trust you." So after that, I went to the operation theater and I do everything necessary. Actually during that few, I think half an hour actually, when I'm not feeling well, I think it's 10 minutes actually, when I was driving actually, I was really panicked. I was very panicked because I start to develop, my two hands was cramped actually. I drive car with my wrist because it was cramped. And my stomach was really cramped. I have very bad cold sweat. My whole body was wet, So I was very panicked and I really rushed to the hospital. I was driving, actually. So my wife said, "Hey, calm down. But I couldn't actually. I was very panicked. My wife also panicked. So actually after that, my wife asked me, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So actually then after that, I really calmed down actually. I really calmed down. After I calmed down, I started to tell her, which is frightened her more. I say, "Okay, where is my bill? What is my password? Where is my ATM card?" That's make her even worse. But to be honest, my wife was very, very helpful at the time. She said, no, don't talk about this. Just calm down, just breathe in and breathe out. I still remember how many traffic lights I did not stop. I go actually. I really rushed to the hospital. So when the doctor asked me, "How long when you first develop your cold sweat until you reach hospital?" I said, "Definitely less than 20 minutes. He said, "Why you're so sure?" I said, "Because I was driving. I was on the way to the clinic. But instead of going to the clinic, I come to the hospital." I said, "So it definitely less than 20 minutes. So after that, then the doctor said, "Okay, you need to do this and that." But because it's a heart attack, so she prepared me for a bypass actually. She said it might be an angioplasty or bypass, but she prepared the worst. She said it could be a bypass. You see. So after that, I started to tell my wife, I say, "Okay, do this, do that. Okay, finally, I was in the operating theater, Actually, after I finished everything, actually, I did not know it was so serious. The next day, when the doctor came to me and visit me, he said, "Mr. Chan, actually, this is that you have gone through, then you can claim your critical illness insurance." I said, "I don't think so. I think nothing is it. You just put a stent inside me. It's just a blockage." He said, "No, this is not a blockage. This is a heart attack. You have an acute heart attack, actually. If you don't come within 45 minutes, then your heart will be very badly damaged. You might not die, but the thing is, the rest of your life, you will suffer very badly heart failure. You might need a pacemaker or whatsoever." So I was very lucky that actually I rushed to the hospital and everything done. So it's true actually, it was quite bad actually, because actually she asked me to claim all my critical insurance and I got it. So it's proof actually it's very serious. You say. So actually what happened, actually what the Dharma helped me actually in the way is, along the way when I rushed myself to the hospital actually, my wife calmed me down by meditations actually, asked me to calm down, in, out, breathe in and breathe out, breathe in and breathe out. Okay, so that's very helped me and calm down actually. Then the other thing is, after the surgery, after the operation, I was put in ICU for 2 days. Actually, you can't do anything, The nurse come in actually with all the PPE. My friend came and visit me with all full PPE actually, because during MCO times, you see. So actually I was alone. Nothing much I can do. I can't walk. I can't do anything. For the 2 days, actually, finally, I asked my wife to give me some Dharma book. In fact, my wife couldn't visit me at all because there's no visitor. But through my friend, which is doctors, I managed to get some Dharma books. Actually, I was reading. Actually, it really calmed me down. Actually, I feel that actually the 6th day in the hospital is something like it's my retreat. So Instead of getting myself very angry, cannot believe it, cannot take it, but I take it with an open heart, actually. Okay, I'm sick, that's it. So, but the thing I tell myself is, my body is sick, but my mind cannot be sick. So actually, I was very friendly to all the hospital staff, the nurse, or everything. So on the final day when I discharged, a group of nurses even come to my room. They say, Mr. Chan, actually you're so friendly, we would like to see you, but not in the hospital. We see you outside. So actually, you can see actually during the 6th day, actually, as I say, it's something like I'm doing my retreat. I never watch TV, even though I stay in a single room. I never watched TV. I was just reading. Actually, I was reading Late Chief, What Buddhists Believe. Even though I have read the book for so many times, but I'm still reading the books. And some other Buddhist book, some Dharma book as well. So what I can tell actually is Dharma Ru helped me a lot during the journey. So I would like to thank my wife also. After the incident, she quit. She took good care of me. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Chan Chiwo, Sister Eng Hun, for showing us an example of navigating through life, dealing with this critical illness, not only illness, critical illness with Dhamma in you, and be an inspiration to all of us. Are you inspired? So next time, please have a copy of What Buddhists Believe everywhere you go. Yeah. So it's a choice. Yeah, it's a choice when we face with such a condition. What do we want to do with the situation? And being in the hospital, taking that as a retreat is also a chance for us to reconnect back to ourselves. Rather than focusing on outside, many times we want to distract ourselves from the pain. So we watch TV lah, we drink Coca-Cola lah, we do whatever things that can distract us from sensing the pain. But that sensing the pain, noticing how our mind works, have that close relationship with our body will help our body to heal and will help us to uphold our mental state in a wholesomeness and positive ways. Yeah. So that is a very exemplary friend of ours. Yeah. So many times, yeah, when we ourselves fall sick, yeah, how do we take care? Have we reflect about how do we take care of ourselves in terms of our physical and our mental? Yeah. When we keep falling sick for the same reason, perhaps it's also a time for us to notice the trend and understand the cause and effect about it. I just have listed here a few points I thought, good that we can share and learn together. The first one, whenever sickness comes, one thing that we got to remember is embracing it calmly. Brother Chan Chiwo can just notice that sensation in him. I think that requires a lot of awareness and also mindfulness that you can notice, so that you are able to relate it to the doctor and you save your own life. Yeah, because imagine if you cannot relate your sickness or your symptoms to the doctor, they may not be able to help to heal you as well, because lack of information. But the more mindful and aware we have towards our body, the changes and the state of mind, then we will be able to help ourselves in a way. And towards ourselves, sometimes when we are vulnerable, it is very hard to even share with other people. Yeah, sometimes we'll just draw back. Sometimes we do not behave the way that we used to. So all this we have to understand and accept and respect ourselves. And if towards other people, for example, our friends or our family members who are sick, and they just change, their character just change, we also need to understand and accept it. And when people are vulnerable, do not force them to speak about their sickness, because that will cause them more sick. Yeah. So slowly, just embrace them. And the other positive emotions or positive mental attitude is have faith on discovery. Yeah. Faith on recovery, not discovery, sorry. Faith for the recovery, because what we always focus on, or what we always think, will be the key driver of our minds. Yeah? If we don't have faith that we could recover, then we will not think that we can be healed, and we may not take the necessary actions to heal ourselves. I think this is very important. Yeah. In order for us to go through the journey of recovery, especially for more critical illness, this faith is very crucial. Especially, I think now it's more helpful in a way that in the modern technology, with modern technology help, there are many different ways of treatment and recovery. So whatever sickness that we face, yeah, we must have that faith. I always reflect about what the Buddha say, of all the sufferings in life, the body suffering and mental suffering, there is a way out, which is the Noble Eightfold Path. So at the point where we face this illness, even a critically ill illness, yeah, if one day we have to be in that condition, remember there is always a way out, as what the Buddha say. If really come to the stage where there is no way out to heal this physical body, still have faith that there is a way out to heal this mental sickness. Yeah, and keep our body and mind separate, not disturbed by the weakening condition of the body. And another point that I thought would be helpful when we deal with our difficult emotions is that see ourselves as a compassionate assistant to ourselves. Yeah, be compassionate to ourselves. When we are sick, right? Don't be too forceful of yourself, because the condition is not the same as when you're fully energetic. Yeah, some people feel shameful. Yeah, or some people feel remorse for not performing their work when they are sick. And then that draw back, and then when they recover from their sickness, they go to work, they feel very bad. Have you encountered such a friend? Yeah, I have a few colleagues, maybe the junior ones, because they haven't really fall sick before. So when they get perhaps like dengue or COVID a few days, right, then they couldn't work because it's too severe. Then they return to office, and then I noticed that they feel very remorseful, or they feel very shameful that because I was sick, I couldn't do the work. Yeah, I think that is really not a very good emotion. So we have to be compassionate to ourselves, knowing our conditions that change, then help us to recover. And this experience will also be helpful when we become the caretaker for other people. Yeah, and being patient for the patient. When we are aging or when we have sickness, we cannot function as the normal us. So have to have that patience for ourselves. We perhaps tend to have patience for our children when they are sick, but when we are sick ourselves, do also have patience toward ourselves, and treat ourselves as a patient. I know a lot of super mom, even when they are sick, they still have to take care of their family members, perhaps the fathers as well, they still have to work. But have that awareness, and then just manage your recovery well. And the last part about less I, this is what I could learn from many practitioners. When they fall sick, they have lesser I. It's like they don't say that my leg is pain, my stomach is pain, my this is pain, that is pain, and I cannot have time to do this, I cannot have time to do that. I'm sitting I'm sleeping in a place that is not comfortable. A lot of I, then it inflict more suffering. I just would like to share with you one experience that I had a few years ago, about 10 years ago. I had this fever that couldn't subside for about 4 or 5 days. So it's like 39, 41, 42, then dropped to 38, that kind of fever. And I don't know what to do. I ate Panadol, couldn't solve. I went to see doctor, couldn't solve. Ate antibiotic, couldn't solve. So one day I was very frustrated already. Remember I said that I thought that I'm young, I shouldn't be sick. So one day I got very frustrated already. I drove myself to the hospital. I told the doctor, I'm sick, please admit me. Then the doctor asked me, what is your sickness? I said, I have fever, but I don't know what my sickness is. Then asked me other kind of symptoms. I said, I don't have, it's just fever. Then the doctor is like, don't know what to do. And I said that, I'm not going home if you don't admit me. So he admitted me, I don't know what reason he put lah. Then young ma, impatient as well. So every day, that was the first day, admitted already, fine. The doctor took blood, happy lah, because I know there will be treatment, right? So, okay, ate medicine. Second day, I asked, so doctor, how am I? Then the doctor say, fever haven't subsided. It's still the same. Then my heart was like, okay lah, one day lah, I give you time to do your treatment. Second day, again, still cannot subside. The time I really got very impatient and I was like, hey, doctor, I came here 2 days already, what did you do? And I started to doubt their professionalism, right? Being ideal, but I was just like resting in the hospital and can't do anything, impatience there, and then try all sorts of things, or read up all the Google, if I have this, what will happen to me. Until the third day, the doctor said that, I think your fever is very serious. We really couldn't find what bacteria you have. And I need to culture your blood. Okay, I said, wow, blood also can culture. Okay, good. So took the blood again. I think overall 3 days, took blood like 6 times. Took again, and then culture. Then only the result came out that actually there was a kind of rare bacteria in the body that made me like have fever, and actually according to the doctor, it's very serious and you should not like function well, you should not have energy anymore. But I still could like get very angry towards the doctor, right? So I was like thinking, wow, that time I really learned how to place faith to the doctor, to other people who have the expertise to take care of us. And at that point of time, I realized that, that interdependency, actually our body is very fragile and small. One bacteria can cause me like 8-9 days of fever and cannot do anything. And my mind was like already and after the culture, they found they tried many types of medicine because they cannot find, because it's rare, right? Rare bacteria, they have to give me a lot of medicine. I eat like 10, 11 medicine every 4 hours just to see. The doctor told me, initially the doctor didn't dare to tell me. After I recover, when I check out from hospital, 3-4 days later, he told me, I asked, so how did you get the medicine? What medicine did you finally get me to cure my sickness? He said, actually, we just tried. So all the medicine that he gave me, it was just a try. If you could heal, you heal. Yeah. So that time I really felt that, wow, life is so fragile, and that experience made me very humble, that you really cannot control your body condition. Yeah. So just take good care of it very well. And I think I would like to share with you last part, mental wise. The Buddha, remember I talked about Gilana Sutta? The Buddha also mentioned in other sutta, especially this one, I think it's very important. Chitta. Chitta is a householder who were at the last breath, the last hour of his life. Yeah. And then he actually kept repeating this word. Even everything is inconstant, everything is unstable. And then one must abandon what we have, when we are going to pass on. And then his friend was actually saying that, why did you keep saying so? Ask him. And in fact, you should be mindful with yourselves when you are at the deathbed. And Chitta's advice to him is that, to the friends, actually, is that when, why I said so, why I said I have to abandon all these things, is because a few hours earlier, some deities, some devas came and advised me, now you are very sick and you are entering into the last few hours of your death bed. And please think about heavenly realm. Think about heavenly realm so that you can be born there. But Chitta is a very strong disciple of the Buddha. He knows that to be born in a Deva is not the ultimate aim of a practitioner. So that's why he keeps saying that, abandon and abandon. And he relate this to the friend. Because the Deva asked me to grasp the Deva realm, then I told the Deva, that I shouldn't. I should abandon all, the material world and even the Deva world. And then the friends were curious why this Deva will ask you to think about the Deva realm. Can someone just think about the Deva realm and be born there? Of course, Chitta said, no, it is not like that. Only those who are virtuous, who have been having faith to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and having constant generosity in their life, will be able to be blessed with all the merits and positive conditions. Then they can aspire to be born in the Deva realms and could be born. But the message here is that even that is so pleasant, we should abandon that. Yeah. So when we are dealing with people who are terminally ill, that's something that we can use to advise them as well. And the Buddha also said that, when we are sick, we can use the Buddha's teaching to advise ourselves or advise our friends. In another sutta, Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha said that if we have a friend, who are sick, this is our advice to console them. Be at ease. Do not feel unease amidst your sickness. Have confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And you have the virtues. If your friends have certain virtues that he has been practicing, for example, he has a good habit of chanting every day, meditate every day, always being generous, always being kind to people. You can recall all these virtues that he has to him and lead him to the focus and concentration of the goodness. And subsequent to that, if you see that he can remain calm, then you can ask whether do they attach to certain things. In the sutta, I took this exactly from the sutta. You know, Buddha already have the conversation plot for us. You know, so he said that, are you attached to your first who? Parents, mother and father. Then the Buddha said, if he reply yes, okay, then this is what you should say. We should say, or we should reflect, if ourselves now, we should reflect that we are about to die, we have this sickness about to die, whether or not we are attached to our parents, yeah, we will die anyway. Yeah, it will be good to give up the attachment. Simple, right? Logic, right? You're going to die, you're going to go off already, then it's good to relinquish the attachment. Same for parents, wife and children, pleasant of the human world. We may love this world a lot because we have been enjoying a lot. Yeah, our friends, our properties, our luxuries, our whatever that we gain in this life, or the future Deva realm or future Brahma realm. But all these are not to be attached to. So with this, it can prepare us to have a more ease mental state to go through this illness, yeah? And especially if that illness is leading to terminal condition. I think we have learned that dealing with sickness is an introspective journey. Yeah, it's not only the suffering that we could see, but also opportunity for us to reflect, opportunity for us to see the hope and the recovery. And last, I would like to share with you another video of my friend. This is a friend I met in 2018 in the course, in the training in US. And she was a very bubbly one, okay? And in the course, she has been like mixing with all of us. She has been presenting well, and all the good qualities that we can say towards a good student and leaders are portrayed. And I tried to learn more from her. And one day I received, then she came to Malaysia, she visited Nalanda, then she started to learn Buddhism. She started to learn Vipassana meditation practice and read a lot of good books. So with that, she started to embrace Buddhism and practice in her life. One day, I got her message to say that, Buddhini, I want to tell you that I got this bile duct cancer. I was like, oh. Over the text, I couldn't understand what was that. Of course, you know, straight away, Google. And I asked her, so how are you now? He said, I'm in the hospital. Then he put out video and showed me that he was actually being wrapped and like, yeah, in a very serious kind of condition. And then he started to narrate that, you know, this is a very rare, it's like every year in US, there are only 8,000 people who get this kind of cancer compared to 100,000 of people diagnosed with colon cancer. And the treatment is very complicated, and usually it leads to terminal. So I was like shocked. I didn't know what to do. I was not trained in that. I mean, I didn't know what to do. Just can say a few words of comfort. But I think thankfully and fortunately, she has good support and she learned the Dhamma, and she has always have a very positive attitude towards adversities in life. So she sailed through, and recently, I think last 2 weeks, she sent me a video to say that a media channel in US has published about her recovery story. And these 2 years, I saw her living her life to the most, not only together with the loved ones, but also doing something meaningful, like setting up a fund, a foundation to help more people, and many more good things that she does for the community. So I would like to share with you this video. Let us together have some inspiration from this as well.
I am 52 years old. I'm living mostly in New York City, and I have a 20-year-old son who is in college. I love yoga. I love roller skating. And I love partaking in everything that New York City has to offer, from theater to concert performances to musicals. Spent 2.5 decades working all over the world for organizations like the United Nations, for government, and for nonprofits on human rights protection and promotion and conflict prevention and resolution. And it's mostly the same people. Yeah. And if you look at me, no one thinks that I'm a stage 4 cancer patient. I am living with a disease that is almost certain to kill me. My name is Stephanie, and I have cholangiocarcinoma, or bile duct cancer. My initial experience with cholangiocarcinoma was detecting that I had some involuntary weight loss and I had some migraines. And this led me to go get a blood test in December 2020. The blood test showed elevated liver enzymes, but nothing too alarming. And then in February, I noticed on a trip to Vermont that I had itching, like skin itching, and darkened urine. And so I called telehealth, and they immediately sent me to go get a scan at a local sort of mountain clinic. And that scan showed some tumors on my liver, and that was sort of the beginning of the cholangiocarcinoma journey. The radiologist actually noted that there were lesions on my liver, which they pronounced were consistent with cancer, and then the phrase likely cholangiocarcinoma. And I had never heard of cholangiocarcinoma. That's the first time I saw it. I had been hoping for like something wrong with my gallbladder that could easily be taken out. And of course, like everyone, I went down the Google rabbit hole, and I learned that the prognosis for this disease is very poor, and, you know, the seriousness of the disease at that point. So cancer affects not only the individual, but obviously a whole community. And that's all of your loved ones. And it's particularly difficult for me and my son because he's one of my favorite people in the world. And I just immediately thought of all the milestones in his life that I might miss. And breaking the news to him was very difficult. With a stage 4 cholangiocarcinoma diagnosis, one wants to be acting as fast as possible. So my doctor advised that we go ahead and start on what was standard of care at that time, which is a chemotherapy.
Stephanie has struggled and gone through all sorts of different emotional and psychological and spiritual cycles herself, and coming to grips with what this disease means, what mortality is all about, and what life is all about. I mean, I think she has come out, in an amazing place that has led her to embrace the richness and the tapestry of life and all it has to offer.
Within my control is my attitude and how I see it. And if I were to sit here and say, why me? And I think the question really is, why not me? And if I get the chance to plan the way that I'm living up until I die, because we're only dying for a short period of time. Ultimately, death is about living. well, then I think that that's something that is under my control. And it's a way that I can find meaning in this whole disease. The message that I would most like to impart is that the average lifespan is about 4,000 weeks, and we sleep for about 1/3 of that. So if we're looking at even just 3,000 weeks of time, let's use those weeks. Let's use that to do all the things in life that we find most meaningful. And don't wait to send that email, make that phone call, change that career, downsize to a level of consumption that allows us to perhaps travel more, whatever that is. What are you waiting for? Now is the time.
So those are the moments, that reflections and wise reflections, can transfer or transform the wounds into wisdom. So another example that just to show you the way we can prepare, for illness, and the way to deal with illness if one day, unfortunately, we really have such condition. I won't say put ourselves, but we really have to face such a condition.